As I said, I love Cuba, and this book, Island on the Wind-Breathed Edge of the Sea, or as some people want to say, Island on the Wind-Breathed Edge of the Sea, which I like just as much, is all written while I was in Cuba. I've been in Cuba 5 times now, and right now I have the privilege of translating Cuban poetry into English, and that book should be out sometime next year. The very first time I was in Cuba, Mr. Gorbachev, take down that wall. People forget that an event which is of benefit to some people actually is destructive to others. And because the Soviet Union fell, their support for the little island of Cuba was withdrawn, and my friend Manuel, that I spoke of earlier, that particular year lost 40 pounds. Every Cuban, on average, lost 25 pounds. 40,000 Cuban people went blind from malnutrition. We were there that year and didn't really know that was going on. Kathy and I, my wife and I, and another family went, and we had a wonderful time in Cuba. We were extremely well fed and very well treated. And we had the privilege of going to a school, and in this school room that we were in, and Cuba has the highest literacy rate in the world. They have the most doctors per capita in the world, so they, in some ways, are a very successful nation. But the schoolroom that we were in was in a remote region, and they had no books, and they had no paper. They had slates, like my mother had when she was a girl. And this poem I wrote about being kind of a well-fed Canadian, but wandering around the schoolroom. It's called In the Schoolrooms of Cuba. In the small, closed schoolrooms of Cuba, there are no books. And all the boys, bereft of pencil stubs, have run outdoors to bat their balls beyond the barbs among the pigs and cactus. And the slender, brown-limbed girls with almond eyes jump laughing in the heat, their red skirts flying like the skip of wind and light among the flowers, taking turns at play of shadows, while on the dark slate inside and in the musty text the teachers use, there is a telling chalked, a story inked about the days before the birth of beauty, when the mountains crawled with guns and a peasant army scuttled among the coconut crabs and goat dung to cross the silting streams, wandering down to wet their noses in the sea. While I stand and watch, wishing I didn't feel so much the careful grammared school inspector running his finger along a ledge to see if it comes away yellow. I wish I weren't such a well-shoed stranger, thinking of home and my heritage, filling history scribblers with celebrated rumors of a world owned by all the wrong people.